We are live from Studio A inside Gaylord College at the University of Oklahoma, ready to talk all things Sooner sports. Our in-studio audience is dressed like they're going to the farm, going out chicken hunting, I guess. OU women's tennis is joining us in the crowd as well. We have an exclusive interview with them. OU football battled with their biggest rivals down in Dallas, seeking some revenge. I'm your host, Aiden Tyler. I'm joined by Cam Williams and Hallie McPherson. This is Sooner Sports Pad.
Welcome to Sooner Sports Pad, presented by OU Health, proud to be Oklahoma's flagship academic health system.
Well, what a weekend it was for Sooner sports. OU football took on Texas, looking to get the golden hat back. We'll have reports of the game from the State Fair of Texas. But football isn't the only sport we're talking about. Our student-athlete guests are making a racket tonight. We'll also bring you what you need to know about Sooners at the next level, as well as other OU teams who performed recently. 1 year after being embarrassed by the Longhorns, the Sooners look to take back the golden hat. Tensions were really high in the pregame, a scuffle going into the tunnel. Sooners had a nice drive and would go up 3-0 early with this Tate Sandell field goal. But at the end of the first half, John Mateer looking, searching. It was a great drive, and he would throw it up into the end zone to the wrong team. Texas intercepts it. Sooners still up 6-3 at half. That would not last long. DeAndre Moore wide open in the end zone. Arch Manning hits him. It's a 12-yard touchdown to make it 10-6 Texas, and it didn't get any better for the Sooners. Ryan Niblett would run this punt return all the way back, 75 yards. It seals the deal. The river runs orange. Texas wins it 23-6. 6 points. Simply put, the Sooner offense was not good. They dug themselves into a hole and could not strike gold. 3 turnovers along with costly penalties continuously killed momentum. I was at the State Fair with a report on the offensive struggles. I am in the end zone somewhere. Oklahoma has only been in 1 out of the 4 games against Texas since Brent Venables took over as the head coach. Part of that poor play was John Mateer, 17 days removed from surgery. He says that his mistakes in the game weren't his hand, rather they were up here.
Physically, I did well. You know, I was dedicated to it and disciplined to it, and but mentally, or whatever you want to say, I wasn't prepared, and that's my fault.
Just didn't deserve to win today. Texas made the plays they needed to. Couldn't get off the field on 3rd down in the second half, and that's a recipe for losing. But again, proud of my guys, our staff. Was not a good day, but man, we have a chance to still have a heck of a year.
We had self-inflicted wounds with penalties. We didn't do what winning required today, and that's on us as coaches. It's on us as players. That's on us as an entire unit that we got to watch the film, be accountable to, and respond the right way. Nobody's going to feel sorry for Oklahoma. Nobody. We got to get in tomorrow, watch the film, address what needs to be addressed, put it to bed, and then we got to get going to work because South Carolina ain't going to feel sorry for us. Nobody else is. So you got to be open and honest with yourself whenever you're watching it, and move forward accordingly.
Next up for the Sooners is a road trip to Columbia, South Carolina, as they take on the Gamecocks, who beat them big last season. Reporting from the Cotton Bowl, Aiden Tyler, Sooner Sports Pad.
Yeah, Aiden, the Sooners did not look good in any form or fashion on offense versus Texas. Missed blocks, bad reads, and drops plagued the Crimson and Cream all afternoon, and the rushing attack was abysmal as they only averaged 1.6 yards a carry on 30 touches on the ground. The Sooners need to be better all around on the offensive side of the ball Saturday versus South Carolina.
Now, Cam, OU's defense had a much hotter start than the offense, but by the end of the game, they made Arch Manning look like a Heisman candidate, only sacking him once. Sooner Sports Pad reporter Andrew West was at the game and has a full coverage on OU's defense.
OU head football coach Brent Venables is now 1-3 against Texas since taking over for the Sooners in 2022. And while the defensive guru has completely altered that side of the ball, that unit did not live up to the standard they had set for themselves all season, a problem they have to fix before heading in to a difficult schedule.
We went down the middle of people. We got blocked. We didn't fit things like we needed to. I thought we lost some discipline there. Again, we lined up offsides, turned guys loose, and didn't tackle well. They blocked us and protected better, and we didn't have the edge in the fire to me that you need to go win that game.
Yeah, I'd say it was extremely frustrating, just for the fact that I felt like we didn't finish a lot of plays. We had guys in position, I would say 95% of the time to make the play. It was in really good position. Like I said, we just got to finish the play.
We know a loss hurts. Nothing we can do about it now. So it's still a lot of football left. It's our 6th game, 6 more left that we get guaranteed. So if we keep looking back at this loss and oh, me, or woe is me, and feeling sorry about ourselves now, we won't continue to prepare for the next games, which we could ultimately lose too.
The defense will get their first shot at redemption against South Carolina next week as they hit the road to take on quarterback Lenora Sellers. Reporting from the Cotton Bowl, I'm Andrew West, Sooner Sports Pad.
Great insight there from Andrew. OU's defense entered the Red River game number 2 nationally and then gave up 302 total yards, 2 touchdowns, and failed to force any turnovers against the Longhorns. OU's defense has the opportunity to put their team back on top this weekend in South Carolina.
Well, speak of South Carolina, we'll talk everything about them coming up. We'll also have a deep dive into a player with a crazy recruiting story who encapsulates having competitive depth. Welcome back to Sooner Sports Pad. High school recruits from Tennessee don't often come to Oklahoma, but in one Sooners case, it was absolutely the right decision. Kevin Daniel has a story on a Sooner who really came from out of nowhere.
That's right. Aiden is a 3-star recruit out of high school. Taylor Wine could have easily gotten lost in the shuffle of OU's dominant defensive line, but instead he's making a name for himself this season, racking up 8.5 tackles for loss and 3.5 sacks, all while, as Brent Venables explains, he almost didn't even come to Norman.
It was one of those add-ons late. We had a guy, that decommitted late, and we found him immediately. I'm like, man, this guy might be every bit, if not better than the guy we lost. That's literally the conversation in the moment. Coach Chavis, he's ready to jump off the bridge down here at I-35, and I'm like, man, this guy is better, I'm telling you. Then they wanted to commit before they even got here, and then you're like, whoa, I know we offered you, but you're not supposed to say yes right away.
I'm not good enough. Got to get better. A lot of areas, and got to keep working, keep shoveling, and keep getting better. And attention to details, fundamentals, getting lined up, and I'm gonna continue to work on it, and Lord willing, get better each week. Spirits hasn't changed. We're focused on getting better, and one loss doesn't. It's not going to defeat this team. That's not who we are, and we're just going to learn from it and get better. And that's all we're worried about right now.
The Sooners will look for Wine's work ethic and intensity Saturday against South Carolina. Wine says he's excited for the different stadiums and environments that road games bring. Aiden, back to you.
Well, thanks, Kevin. South Carolina has not lived up to expectations this year. They were ranked 13th in the preseason AP poll, and they are now 3-3. They took on LSU over the weekend. Matt Fuller took this handoff 72 yards to the house. Interestingly enough, though, the Gamecocks just fired their offensive line coach despite that run. But when push came to shove, LSU prevailed. Garrett Nussmeier finds Kyle Parker for a huge 43-yard touchdown to seal the deal. Gamecocks fall to the Tigers 20-10. South Carolina head coach Shane Beamer, he's a familiar face. He was OU's assistant head coach from 2018 to 2020. Beamer had high praise for the Sooners at his press conference today. He mentioned the great job Brent Venables has done with the OU defense, while also speaking highly of John Mateer's toughness to go play against Texas, just 17 days removed from thumb surgery. Last time OU faced South Carolina, Michael Hawkins started but was benched after throwing 2 interceptions on just 5 passes. South Carolina did not need to do a ton offensively to win that one. Cam, what is South Carolina doing offensively that OU does need to stop?
Yeah, and this Gamecock offense has been underwhelming to say the least this season. Coming into the year, they had high hopes with preseason Heisman candidate Lenora Sellers and speedster Nick Harbor both returning, but so far through 6 games, this Gamecock squad is tied for last in the SEC in total offense and 108th nationally in points per game with 19.2. But this Sooner defense knows to take it one game at a time and get better as they head to Columbia.
We didn't practice as hard as we thought we were, so next week we need to come 10 times harder. We need to take our indie drills way more serious. Even though we take them serious, we need to go 10 times harder. and really so what now what? We still got our season ahead of us, and we got to get ready to play Columbus at noon. We're not going to tuck our tail. We got a long season ahead of us. All our goals are still in front of us, so we just got to take one game at a time. We got South Carolina next week.
Well, Cam, it is a bit brighter on the defensive side for South Carolina. The Gamecocks rank 50th in total defense. They aren't much of a consistent defense, but they have a solid defensive line that forced 3 turnovers against LSU. If OU's offense doesn't want to look how they did over the weekend, OU's offensive line will need to improve and protect the ball. And OU is coming off an emotional loss, but the goals remain the same for the Sooners.
We still got so much ahead of us. We still got 6 games left, and I mean, we had the vision that we're going to win a national championship day one, like some workouts, win a workout. So all that's still in front of us. We still have a lot to play for, and we're just going to keep going out there and play. As offense, we're just looking at the things that we need to fix. We're going out there. We had a great practice today, practicing hard, just keeping a positive mindset, trying to be the best we can.
I think the sense of urgency has to be there now for the Sooners. Ben Arbuckle said it best. No one is going to feel sorry for them. I think they come out guns a-blazing, win it by 2 scores.
Yeah, Aiden, if that OU offense can come out blazing, then I am on your side. It is up to the offense to have that comeback. Give me the Sooners by 1 touchdown.
Yeah, guys, I'm right with you, but I think it's going to be a whole lot closer than people think. I got the Sooners winning by 3.
Well, now we're going to go ahead and take it to our in-studio audience. Take a sit down here. They are all dressed up, wearing their camo gear. They're going down to the farm. Landon, when you're going and you're eating some chicken, we're talking about the Gamecocks this week, you're eating chicken, do you like it fried or do you like it grilled?
Give me a 6-piece combo from Popeyes, fried.
Okay,
I like it real crunchy.
Okay, a fried chicken guy. What are you thinking, Ethan?
I'm a Bojangles guy. Give me it fried. I love that.
So 2 fried chicken votes. I got to say, I am right there with them. When we come back, Cam and Hallie will have a sit-down interview with 2 members of the OU women's tennis team. You won't want to miss it. Stick with us.
Come on.
It is time to sit down and meet our interview guest this week. Let's give a warm welcome to OU women's tennis. Oyin Quadre is a senior from Nigeria. She transferred in from Florida International, where she was a 3-time Conference USA first team in the doubles, as well as the 2023 CUSA Player of the Year. Chloe Noel is a junior from France. She was named to the Big 12 All-Freshman team in 2024 and is ranked as high as 30th in doubles. Cam, Hallie, take it away.
Thank y'all so much for joining us here at Sooner Sports Pad. Now y'all have regionals this Friday in Norman. Just tell us where the team is at.
I think the team is pretty confident. We've had like a lot of work this past few weeks, and we built like a lot of momentum from playing so many tournaments, so we're like really excited.
Yeah, we are very excited. Like we start playing on Friday until Monday, hopefully, and our goal as a team is to go as far as possible, and it's a really important tournament for us, and we are really lucky to host it at home. So we hope a lot of people are coming.
Show up.
So yeah.
And Chloe, you're from France. What does it mean to represent your country?
I mean, like, it's not only representing my country, it's representing like all my team and all my school. So like, I mean, like I'm happy to represent my country, but like, it's more than that.
And for you, you're from Nigeria. What does it mean for you to represent Nigeria?
It's such a big deal. We don't have like a lot of tennis in Nigeria. So every time I'm playing, I remember that I represent like a bigger community. But like she said, I also represent OU and the team's culture. And we have like lots of internationals, so this is something we take pride in.
And with both of you being like leaders on your team, what kind of mindset do you want to instill to the rest of your teammates?
Well, we have like OU standard. We always remind them at practice. We're really loud. Like everyone knows us as the team that's really annoying to play because we don't give up. And I see that excellence in other sports also. So we just remind them to stick to the standard and go higher possibly.
Yeah, I mean, what you said is exactly that.
Now, on top of that, why did y'all choose OU?
I mean, for myself, like, at first it was like because of the coaches and like the culture of OU and the sport. I mean, it's like a really good program. Like they want to win everything, just like how they compete. Like it was really good, and after like so it was mostly for the tennis and of course like academic too.
For me, I would say it was tennis and also the team culture. Like I was 3 years at Florida International, and for my last year, I knew that I wanted a school that matches my ambition. OU has exactly that. Like, the coaches really strive for success. They strive for excellence, which is exactly the environment I need for my final year.
And who are some of your tennis inspirations?
Ooh. So my idol is Nadal, but
Which is surprising because we all call her Roger.
Yeah, my game style is more like Federer.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well,
I love Roger. Sorry.
You're good, you're good.
So
Go
I'll
ahead.
be biased. I always call her Roger because I love Roger a lot more.
So I'm her favorite player, basically.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. Good luck this weekend. Aiden, back to you.
Yeah, the Sooners will be competing Friday until Monday here in Norman for the ITA Central Regional Championship, where they will compete with athletes from at least 15 schools. When we come back from the break, we'll talk about other Sooners and other sports who are performing quite well. Don't go anywhere. We've spent the show reviewing the Red River Showdown, but now it's time to talk about the Sooners in the NFL who maybe took some of that Red River anger out over the weekend. We'll also talk some other OU sports who performed recently. But in the NFL, Baker Mayfield took on the San Francisco 49ers. And check this one out. 3rd down and 14. I don't know how he did it. Miraculously escapes 3rd and 14 and takes it with his legs for the 1st down. Baker Magic is alive and real. And then just a couple plays later, Mayfield would find Tez Johnson 45 yards into the end zone. Touchdown. Bucks win it 30-19 thanks to Tez Johnson's first career touchdown. And in primetime Sunday night, Chiefs versus the Lions. Hollywood Brown takes a jet pass from Pat Mahomes, 9 yards in for the score, but he would not be done there. He would seal the deal in the 4th quarter with a cute little drag route into the end zone. Chiefs win this one 30-17.
Yeah, and let's switch to last Thursday's matchup where OU soccer faced number 4 Tennessee at John Crane Field. The Sooners started slow, but they put up 6 shots and 3 corner kicks in the second half, but ended up drawing with the Vols in the matchup. The Sooners snapped the Vols' 5-game winning streak in conference play, and Caroline Duffy for the 2nd straight week earned SEC Defensive Player of the Week honors.
And in McCaslin Fieldhouse had all the action over the weekend. OU volleyball hosted South Carolina on Friday, and the Sooners turned the Gamecocks into chickens. It was this kill right here by Takoa Barnes that closed out the win for the Sooners. OU beats South Carolina 3-1. And then just 2 days later, the Sooners hosted Georgia, but this time adding on to the losing column, falling 1-3 to the Bulldogs. On Friday, the Sooners tallied a season high of 16.5 blocks in the win, and the hot start led the Sooners to a 3-1 win.
Honestly, I feel like all of us did really well with starting out super aggressive and just swinging. And yeah, obviously coming out with a few blocks from the start definitely helped.
Well, coming up, Cam and Hallie will go head-to-head in face-off. Cam took the win last week to go up 2-1. Stay here to see if Hallie can even up the score. It is finally here. Face-off. Cam and Hallie go head-to-head with Cam up 2-1. Let's not waste any more time and get into my favorite part of the show. We're going to start it off with a hard one. I think it'll be really interesting to see who you choose. After scoring 6 points, Hallie, who is your offensive MVP following the Red River catastrophe?
Well, Aiden, my offensive MVP isn't even on offense, but he's the only player that even put points up on the board. Special teams player Tate Sandell is the game MVP for OU. In the 1st quarter, he had this 42-yard field goal, making it, and then in the 2nd quarter, he had a 41-yard field goal, putting up all the points for OU.
Yeah, Hallie, I've got to go with Isaiah Satania. With little bright spots from the loss versus Texas, Satania did show up catching 4 balls for 61 yards, good for 15 yards a catch, and he made his impact early on the first drive. And going forward, the Sooners are going to need his big play ability with tough defenses ahead.
Now, life may get a bit easier for y'all on this one. Cam, the defense, they played well enough to win that game. Who's your MVP on that side of the ball?
Yeah, Aiden, I'm going to go with Kendall Daniels, the senior from Beggs, Oklahoma. Had arguably the best game by any Sooner versus Texas, as he had 6 tackles for solo and 2 tackles for loss in Dallas. He was the anchor for an Oklahoma defense that only gave up 16 points to a dynamic Texas offense.
Yeah, Cam, that isn't a bad pick to go with, but it was Wine time in Dallas. I'm going with Taylor Wine as my defensive MVP. Wine made a big impact defensively for the Sooners, having 4 tackles, and 3 of those were a tackle for loss, which were the most tackles for loss recorded by any OU player.
Now, I'll be flat honest. I said last week if Mateer plays, the Sooners would dominate. We saw the result of the game. I was a little bit shocked. So now I want to know what your surprise of the game is.
Aiden, no touchdowns by OU against Texas is more than just a surprise. It was the inevitable for OU fans. This game marked the second Red River game in a row that OU failed to get in the end zone and makes Brent Venables touchdownless 3 out of the 4 years that he has been the head coach.
Yeah, Hallie, no touchdowns for the second straight OU Texas is disappointing, but the special teams unit giving up a back-breaking 75-yard punt return touchdown in the fourth quarter when the Sooners were only down 7 put the nail in the coffin on the Crimson and Cream comeback.
Man, this is a really close one. The final case to win this week's faceoff lies in what you're looking forward to in the future, Cam. What are you keeping your eyes on for Saturday's showdown?
Yeah, Aiden, this Sooner O-line had by far their worst performance of the season versus Texas. They couldn't run block as they created running lanes for only 1.8 yards a carry, and they couldn't pass block either, giving up 5 sacks in the loss. This group has to be better for the Sooners to have any chance at a successful season.
I do agree with you, Cam, but can the Sooners bounce back after a tough loss this weekend? South Carolina is one of the more easier opponents left on OU's schedule, and not only do the players have pressure on them, but there could be some jobs on the line for the OU coaching staff if OU comes back 5-2 this weekend.
Well, now it's time for our audience to decide a face-off winner. Let's see if they're like the Cotton Bowl crowd, split 50-50. If you think it was Cam, let me hear some noise. Come on! Man, that's pretty good. If you think Hallie won it, let me hear you. Yeah! Let me do one more for Cam. I think I might know who it is, but one more time for Hallie. Guys, this one's pretty obvious to me. Hallie McPherson is this week's face-off winner. She's going to even up the season series 2-2. Thank you so much for watching Sooner Sports Pad. For Cam Williams and Hallie McPherson, I'm Aiden Tyler. We'll see you next Tuesday, same time, same place. Good night.